What's happening, sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Mama and Papa Joe. Today on the menu, Mama and I are going to show you how we make this beautiful pot of oxtails. Oh my goodness. Tell me you don't want to dig your teeth into these. Let's get started. I'm old enough to remember back when oxtails were very affordable. You never even have to look at the package when you put them in your basket at the store. Today they're very expensive. And based on where you are in the country, they're even more expensive. I'm complaining about $6.29 a pound. I've seen where people are paying upwards of $10 a pound. I've got here just about a little under 5 pounds of oxtails. I'm gonna get these out of the package really quickly. Wash them under some water with a little vinegar. We'll be back to get them trimmed up. Nice and clean. And in these packages, you always have some front of the tail, and then you get some of the smaller pieces from the end of the tail. I'm going to try to knock off some of this big heavy fat. And again, always start with your knife sharp. Like that is all fat right there. And where we get to the pieces where it's not fatty, but it's covered with this silver skin, I just like to score it. That is what I'll do. Quick cleanup, and we'll come back and get the seasoning. We're going to be allowing these oxtails to sit overnight in this very flavorful marinade that we are going to build. In this bowl, I've got pretty much half a bunch of thyme, 1 bunch of green onions, 1 large red bell pepper, 2 stalks of celery, 1 medium yellow onion. Man, I wish I was able to find some Scotch bonnets, but I wasn't able to. So we've got 1 habanero, 1 large clove of garlic, and a nice piece of ginger, all minced. In with that thyme, onions, green onions, red bell pepper, and celery. Everybody into the pool. Garlic and ginger. I'm gonna have one of my flavorful liquids, man. I'm gonna say about a good tablespoon or so of my Maggi Hugo. Then I'm gonna come back with some browning sauce. If you're not aware of what browning is, man, it is another awesome start to meats. It's the sugars that have been really concentrated, but it's a great way to start to get a deeply flavorful and nice colored. I also say about a tablespoon. Then I'm going to come back with some oxtail seasoning. Not a whole lot of salt in this. We're not going to be worried about salting until tomorrow. This is Grace oxtail seasoning. I'm going to go maybe 1 tablespoon, and let's say a half. And now we just want to show this some love. It'd not be a problem if you wanted to blend this. If you wanted to put this vegetable herb mixture in a food processor, I just do not want it that fine. I've got everything chopped into very small pieces, but if you want to liquefy it, if you really want it to almost a puree, you absolutely could do that. I'm going to get a little more browning in here, as well as a little bit more Maggi. I haven't forgotten that habanero. Let's cut that up, seeds and all. They're not quite as fruity, but man, they still bring a lot of great flavors to whatever you add them to. So all I'm going to do now is cover this up with some saran wrap, place it in the fridge, and we will come back out here and get things started tomorrow. If you're not able to do it overnight, 4 hours would definitely bring you some benefit. But you absolutely want this to sit a little bit before you get to cooking. I will see you in the morning. Our oxtails have been out the fridge for about a half an hour, almost 45 minutes. They smell good. What I'm gonna do real quick is just freshen them up with a little more of that browning that I've been using. And then we're gonna head to the stove and start this browning process. I've got a pot that I love to use for browning, but it's not large enough to do them in one batch. So I'm gonna do them in 2 batches just to make sure that I get that beautiful color that I'm looking for. All right, so my stove is on medium-high heat. First thing I'm gonna do is put in maybe a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of some olive oil. All right, I'm seeing just a little bit of smoke starting, and into our pot. After about 5 minutes or so, you want to give this a flip, and you'll see that you're starting to develop those brown bits on the bottom. Love that color. And that's where that browning comes into play. Beautiful. So we're going to try to get these brown on all sides. Medium-high heat is perfect. You don't want your pot too hot. You don't want to start burning that little bit of sugar that's in that browning. So we'll get these knocked out. The second batch knocked out, and we will come back. Let's get that second batch in there. Oh my goodness, this smells great. Oh, that bottom is looking great, man. I don't know about authentic, folks, but this is going to be delicious. I'm definitely not going to call it authentic. I don't think there are 2 Jamaicans that make their oxtails the same way. But this is how Mom and Papa Joe do it, and I guarantee you it's going to be delicious. Folks, I wish you could see the goodness that's at the bottom of this pan right now, with the little bit of onions and garlic and bell peppers. Smells awesome. We're gonna come back with everything back into the pot. With all that goodness that's in here, man, we want to scrape out. We're now going to add the rest of our veggies and herbs and everything else. I'm not going to add any liquids just yet. I want these onions, this bell pepper, and everything else to cook down just a little bit, get that water out of them, concentrate before I start adding my liquid. What I'm trying to do right now is simply evaporate some of this water. What I'm doing is concentrating these flavors, these juices. So our liquid has thickened up nicely, man, reduced, so we're ready to go. It's almost like a thick gravy right now. What I've got here is 2 quarts of beef stock. I want to make sure I get all this goodness off the bottom of these pans. This is all flavor right here. Don't want it to go to waste. So that's 2 quarts. And we're gonna go in and see how much it takes to get this to pretty much cover the tops of the meat. So it's pretty much the entire 2 quarts. So what I'm doing right now is just scraping up some of that good stuff from underneath that was stuck there earlier in that thick liquid. I can feel it coming up. And again, man, that good stuff is nothing but flavor. Let's get this back to a boil, and we will then bring it to a simmer. Okay, that took a couple of minutes to come to a boil. We're now going to turn our stove down to like a medium-low simmer and get our cover on and just check on this every hour or so. All right, so here we are, 2 hours and 15 minutes. I checked it about an hour and a half, and all I did was remove a little bit of the oil from the top. If you're not into an oily gravy, then you want to do this. If that doesn't bother you, then it's not a problem. I don't like too much oil in my gravy, so yes, I do remove that. Right now, we're going to taste this for salt. We're going to see how far we are from being tender, and we should be finishing this up in another half hour to 45 minutes or so. Let me just check the tenderness, and man, it feels nice and soft. We're still, like I said though, about half an hour to 45 minutes away. Let's check salt content. I'm gonna come back with a little black pepper. Oh, that's got a nice little heat from that habanero pepper, and a little salt. And again, man, you always want to wait till towards the end of salt, simply because as your liquids reduce, that salt content grows. So I'm not gonna add any more salt. I think that's gonna be enough. Last thing I want to do is just come in with a handful of carrot. I love the color and that little bit of sweetness some carrots bring in this last half an hour to 45 minutes. All right, we are about at 3 hours and 10 minutes in this pot simmering. And I think we're where we need to be. Oh man, that gravy is nice and thick and that color is beautiful. And I can easily see, man, that this meat is ready to come off. I don't want it coming off of the bone on its own. I want it nice and tender enough that it's loose, but still on the bone. And I can pull it off with my lips. Just a little parsley to finish. And I am going to wait for my bride to get home. Oh my goodness. And I know you want some of this gravy. Just a little bit over the rice. Just a little over the rice. How about that? There we go. Wow. That is a thing of beauty. Some potato salad. That awesome oxtails, man. Little tomato salad. Oh, look at that beautiful chunk right there, man. Little jasmine rice. Wow. That is absolute ridiculous good. Really, really drying out those veggies in the beginning in that browning really does make a difference. My first time doing that, and this might be the best I've ever made. Once again, I'm not gonna call this authentic, but guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely delicious. Don't be too hard on me, you Jamaicans. I love your culture. I'm gonna place some of my other Jamaican style dishes in the iCard as well as the description. I mean, jerk chicken, we've done meat patties. Take a look, let me know what you think. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with Mom and Pop Jill's once again. We really appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, I want you to take care of yourselves, love each other, and we'll see you when we see you. Holler!